Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield back with an old friend and one of my favourite people, Matt King. How are you?
I'm great today. How are you?
Do you know, I'm delicious and all the better.
You are delicious.
I really am, and all the better for seeing you, and I'll tell you why. To see someone who makes it look so simple is a joy. In this town, there are really amazing people like you, and then there are others that make it look incredibly difficult. It's not easy, is it?
Thank you. First of all, that's very nice of you to say. And there's some work that goes into it to make it seem like there's no work.
Absolutely. I mean, I've interviewed all the magicians on this trip, and you have more warmth and charm than all of them put together. I think that's your calling card, really.
Well, I got you snowed. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you fell for my scam.
You can't buy that, though. I mean, the likability factor, and magicians do generally come across as quite creepy. I mean, this is a fact. It's not just my opinion. You don't really go for that, do you? You're not trying to be all slinky doing the waving arm stuff. It's so warm.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's never appealed to me. The suave, guy in the tuxedo and this sort of, Penn and Teller call him the greasy guy in the tux pulling doves out of his sleeve, and so that never did appeal to me, really.
There was a very funny moment in the show today where you get somebody on the stage and they had a t-shirt of another magician. You couldn't make that up, could you? The one person you pulled out.
No, that was, I didn't realize until they'd gotten up. Then it was a couple, and they both were wearing Penn and Teller shirts. So I ended up giving them Mac King shirts, and we just took pictures of them pulling their Mac King shirts over their Penn and Teller shirts in the lobby after the show. So I'm going to send that over to Penn. Hopefully he'll think that's funny.
What's great about you is you are a magician. You're not doing the wavy stuff where we make helicopters appear, which is more technology than magic, let's face it. The craftsmanship you have, I so admire because it's so clever and so quick. You've really mastered your art. This is a lifetime's work, isn't it?
I've been working on that show since I was about 15. It started out with a variation of my opening trick and my closing trick that are still in the show, but they've evolved and changed a lot over the years. But that was kind of the backbone of my show and still is. So I've been working on that for 40 years. It's crazy.
I first interviewed you, I think, nearly 15 years ago, and you're still at it doing 2 shows a day at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock here at Harrahs. You've just signed another 4-year contract, 15 years on stage. I know I asked you this before. How do you keep it fresh and not get bored? Because this is a job.
Well, it's my job, but it's also, it's my job to make it look fresh as well. But also, I have an advantage, I think, over some other acts where, if you're just a singer or if you're just a magician performing where you're not interacting with the audience, but there's a lot of genuine interaction in my show, and so I'm talking with the audience and I'm listening and I'm kind of going off of what happens. I have like a tiny little destination where I want to get to, but I don't mind taking some detours to get there, and it's that's what keeps it fun for me. There's genuine audience interaction, and those people aren't props, they're human beings, and so I'm very excited to deal with them every day. That's what keeps it fresh for me.
And you never know what's going to happen next. At one point, 3 women stand up to go and get a drink. I thought they were walking out. No, they came back in with a drink. An hour show is too long in Vegas.
To go without alcohol? Yeah, I think that's right.
It's an amazing town, isn't it? You can't believe at 1 o'clock in the afternoon they couldn't wait, but they couldn't. This is Vegas.
I need more beer or whatever. I don't know what they came back with, but yeah, I was like, wow, because it was right after I'd gotten somebody new on stage, somebody from the audience, and so 3 women that had come in together apparently, and they all 3 got up to leave together, and I'm like, what happened? The show's not that terrible today. And but they were there. I said, you don't like Chris, the guy who had come up on stage? And they said, no, we're just getting more alcohol. Okay, good for you. The show gets better the more you drink.
But it's the delivery that you have that's so unique, because let's face it, anybody can do a trick. But I talked about your charm earlier. I guess the script for you is key because you work so hard at it, don't you? It is crafted.
It is crafted. The idea is that it looks not crafted, but some of the things, I'm saying a lot of the same things from show to show to show to show to show, but I'm like I said, I'm listening, and so I say them in a different way or a different phrasing or a different stuff happens and I don't say something or I say new stuff all the time. So yeah, it's really fun for me.
And then you add in animals, which is, again, something that is very unique. We have goldfish and guinea pigs and even worms.
Let's not forget bears, but that's a secret. The secret bear.
When you work with these animals, it so amazes me because they do have a mind of their own. Again, there must be funny things happen, or is it just that they know what they have to do in the right time? The worm knows how to sit?
The worm knows how to sit. I've had many, the very first time, I don't know whether we talked about this before, the very first time I did that goldfish trick, I'm not going to give away too much, but I secretly put a fish in my mouth. The audience does not know that there's a fish in my mouth at one point. I sneak it in there magically. And so the very first time I did it, that fish decided that it was going to swim down my throat, and I started choking on this little goldfish during the show. And and then I had to make a decision. Try to get it up or just let it go all the way down. And I tried to get it up, and then I realized, I'm going to vomit. And so I started a little bit in my hand, and then I realized I'm going to really. And so I leaned over. I have a little suitcase of props on stage, and I leaned over and just vomited into that suitcase. And I went on with the trick. Went on with the trick, finished it up. And after the show, not one person, I'm in the audience after the show, signing shirts and talking to people, and not one person said, did you throw up on stage? And so it's amazing, I guess, what you can get away with.
We have a thing in England called health and safety. Have we tested whether it is safe to put a goldfish in your mouth?
I've been doing it for 18 years and still walking amongst us, so I guess it's okay.
And you do say at the end, there's nobody hurt in the making of your production. I guess you have to breed these goldfish, but how does it work? You have a goldfish farm at home?
I do actually have a goldfish farm at home because they get too big. And so my daughter has a fish tank at home that she takes care of that has the goldfish from the Mac King show that have gotten too big to go in my mouth.
Well, is the perfect size then for a goldfish to go in your mouth? What, is there an ideal length?
There is an ideal length. When I go on the road, I don't go on the road too much, but I do some smaller performing arts centers and stuff around the country. And on my rider, I have two pictures of fish. This one's too small and this one's too big. Get something in between, and they provide fish. So yes, there is an ideal size.
This sounds almost like my private life, my Tinder profile. It's remarkable.
Right. This is too small and this is too big. Exactly.
I have the same principles. And you're doing this show at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. How draining is it for you, or do you just sort of live it now? It is part of your day and part of your life.
Dude, this is not like digging ditches. It's like I'm doing card tricks. It's easy. I really do. Don't tell anybody, but I have probably the greatest schedule in all of show business. I leave my house about 1:45. The show's at 1. I do leave sometimes at 1:45, but I leave an hour before the show starts, and I'm home an hour after the second one ends. And so I'm working really from like noon to 5 days a week. It's pretty great for show business. And I take my daughter to school most mornings, and my wife and daughter and I have dinner together every night. So it's the greatest job.
And what is the recipe to survival here in Las Vegas? Because it is brutal. People come and they go, the biggest rise and the biggest fall quickly. Why are you still here? Why do you get re-signed year after year?
I think I get re-signed because the show is cheap. No, I think it's what you said before. It's different than anything else. No, so I'm really proud of that. And so there's if you talk about a comedy magician, sometimes there's like old school like Tommy Cooper. I don't know whether you knew of Tommy, and so where it's like cod magic, where the magic doesn't really work, but he's very funny. And then there's the very skillful magician, but to combine the two, where it's really funny and the magic is really strong, I think is kind of my little stronghold. And so I've been able to hold on to that.
It's very funny in this town. I just Googled a clip of Tommy doing the wine bottle trick, which he did in black and white in 1967. I've seen 3 magicians do it in this town in the last week. Is magic moving forward?
Well, yeah, I think magic is moving forward, but songwriting moving forward. I mean, people sing the same songs, a lot of them that you so it's, it's, I mean, to me, I mean, it's similar to that. It's not the song, it's the singer, and it's not the trick, it's the guy. And so I don't know who you saw. I mean, I can think of two people I know who do that bottle trick, but I don't know who you saw. But it's I bet neither of them can really compare to Tommy doing it, because I mean, he made that trick a part of himself, and so I mean, it's really the guy.
And in the same way Tommy makes everything so unique, so do you. Congratulations on this show. It's here at Harrahs at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Just tell us your schedule again. What days are you on?
So I work Tuesday through Saturday. So I have Sunday off with my wife and daughter, and I have Monday while my daughter's at school just with my wife. So it's really great.
I think I need to speak to Caesars. You should be really paying them at this point. This is too good, this contract.
Yeah, maybe we should destroy this recording.
I've loved talking to you. Matt King is one of the greatest performers here in Las Vegas. It's so unique and so brilliant and so well crafted. Congratulations. Thank you.
Oh, are you kidding? Thank you for having me, and I'll see you again in 10 years.